Richard and I had rented a car in Belfast and driven along the north coast of Northern Ireland and stayed overnight at a town called Newtown Stewart. The following day, we decided to drive into Drumquin and see exactly what Drumquin was all about. It is the home of our ancestors. So you can see the road winds its way into town, and we're almost now at the main intersection. We stopped at the church you see on the right, hoping we might find some ancestral grave sites, but alas, it was a much more modern church and all the graves were far too recent. Where we thought we would go is either to Upper or Lower Langford. That was a name that had been mentioned in Father's book, and we figured that perhaps he would get more lucky if that's where we went. So we got back in the car and headed down the road once again. As you can see, the countryside is very lush, the road's very narrow, but it's still an interesting area. Here's the church that we were looking for, and lo and behold, this is what we found. The church at Lower Langfield. This is the church we think that Martha had donated money to. On the opposite side of the road, there was a path that led somewhere. We thought maybe there were grave sites down there, but alas, there weren't. So we returned and headed back to the car. We decided the next thing to do would be to head down the road and look for the ruined church that we had heard about. And there it was. A few miles further down the road, we came to the ruined church. We wandered around the graveyard, trying to see if we could read any of the names, but as you can see, the stones are far too old and weathered, and no names were visible. We started to wonder how we were going to find a Bradley tomb among all of these ancient stones. Just by chance, I happened to take a picture of the interior of the church, and that led to an interesting discovery. But we weren't to find that out immediately. We drove back to Drumquin, went up to the height of land and took some pictures of the town. We came across some land which we think belonged to Hamilton Bradley. We knew that the family had a house in Drumnaforb. Our time in Drumquin was coming to an end, and we headed out of town. Back at the Castle Inn in Newtown Stewart, we heard about the Mellon Centre and decided to go down and visit. And sure enough, we found what we were looking for. The interior of the church and the graves all marked with names, two of which were Bradley's.